And we're back. Told you we were going to be right back with the one and only Bob Tyrrell. This is Body Art Unleashed. It is never done before. We're bringing you interviews. You get to ask questions, completely interactive, so you can know what's going on in the mind of these creative geniuses. Mario Barth on the far right. Bob Tyrrell, also known as, I heard everybody...
Far right, I'm on the far left. Oh, it depends where you look at it. I'll never get this straight. I'll never know where
They're right.
They're
so
right.
I was right.
It's so, like no, you never right.
I was right in that sense because I was thinking of them, not myself, where in this case, you were thinking of you.
It's like stage left or stage right.
Yeah.
That's what, I get always confused. Like the only way I can figure this out is I know where the bass player is because usually it's always on the other side. Right? So how are you doing?
Good.
You know, Bob is around here, is doing a lot of stuff for us. I mean, he's one of the iconic tattoo artists in this industry. And he does some incredible work, right?
Like, I heard him like referred to yesterday multiple times as the godfather of black and gray.
Oh, yeah.
That's a title.
You don't want that title?
Just because I'm old, maybe, you think? Or?
No, they were just trying to say, like, you are the man. So, yeah.
So talk about it a little bit, how it was. How did you get here? Where did you come from? Where are you going to? So many questions.
How are you feeling? What are you wearing? Oh my gosh. But really going back to basics though, when you think about all of the different options in tattooing, why did you choose black and gray? What was it about that drew you to it?
You know, I've been drawing since I was a little kid. My dad's an artist, you know, and I grew up around that, you know. But I always, I like pencils, man, you know. I was probably the kid with the black crayon, you know, when I was really young. But even, you know, I did color stuff and, you know, in school, you do art stuff. But on my own, I always like, you know, drawing with pencils. And I always like drawing faces, too. And since I was a little kid, you know, I used to draw Alfred E. Newman from Mad Magazine, you know. And then, you know, horror, you know, actors and stuff, you know. And then drawing musicians when I got into my teens and all that. But I just always loved pencil, and I was never interested in color. Mm-hmm. Then when it came to tattooing, you know, before I started tattooing, you know, just seeing tattoos on people, I loved black and gray more, a lot more.
Yeah, I think there's a certain kind of group of people, right, which either way go for the black and gray shading, like what we call the realistic look, right? But we're getting a little proven wrong now because we're talking to Steve Butcher before, and we have seen his work. So there is possibility now to do realistic in color, right? I mean, it was never considered to be even an option. No, I think it was like the real realistic guys were Bob or Tom Ramshaw, right, or Jack Rudy and Brian Everett. I mean, those are the big names, I think, which really deserve the title for everything on that with you. And when you look at it, I mean, if you look at this tattoo right now, and I would like to go back one more time really quick to Mr. T to the first bit. There we go. I mean, if you look at it, it's what's really amazing is just like how you capture the expression of that look, right? Mm-hmm. Like how you do it. How do you approach a tattoo like that?
I mean, you always want to capture, the expression and the character of that person, which you see in the photo, you know. But it's tricky, man. It's every time I do a portrait, I'm like thinking to myself, you know, I hope I pull this off. Still after 20 years, you know.
So do you think it's like the adrenaline rush every time you sit down before you start and you say like, oh, maybe this time it's not going to look right?
Yeah, that's always a little worry. It's like,
you know, it's funny because I don't know how you guys think about it, but I say we all fuck up. I just hide my mistakes better. That's what I say. It's a real big part. I mean, we can't be perfect. I mean, we are perfect. But
obviously, you're perfect. I think that's actually a really interesting point because I was talking to someone that said that they really wanted to be a tattoo artist, but they never took it any further because they were afraid of disappointing somebody or messing it up. So there has to be some level of like confidence that you have that you go into doing this, right? Like you know what you're capable of, even though, you know, mistakes may be made here and there, but you have to go into it thinking that you won't, right?
Yeah. We're human, you know, we got one shot at you know, you can't erase you know, and I always say, I don't know if I should say this to the world, but, you know, I mean, we all tattooers, I'm sure feel the same way, but I always say, you know, I fucked up something in every tattoo. And when I say that, I mean, it was just something that wasn't quite as perfect.
I think what you're saying, and this is really what I want to bring to the world, it's the truth. It's not really that we worry too much about you. Our own demons of looking at the tattoo.
Exactly.
We want to create that like that perfect tattoo. We search for that perfect tattoo all the time. So, and that's how we gain our confidence, right? Like we need to think we are the best. We need to think nobody can beat us. We need to think that we are better than anybody else in tattooing. Otherwise, we wouldn't have the confidence to go on the confidence to go onto the skin and do what we're doing.
Right.
Because we don't know if we can do that next tattoo, as you just say. We don't know. It's just there, and we say, yeah, sure. And then the little guy on the right side says, fuck no. You know, it is, yeah, sure, I'll do it, no problem. Where you want it? On the ribs? No problem. Do it. And then you've never done it before, so you need to wing it, you need to try to go. It's you keep continuously challenging yourself as an artist to see where your boundaries are, right? And then we're only gonna stop with the tattoo when we think it's perfect.
What does that mean? So would that perfection only be in your eyes?
Yes.
Or is there
as perfect as we can do it.
Yeah.
You know, and no tattoos is perfect, but everybody else says it is.
Yeah.
Because
only we see it.
Only we. Nobody else would. They go, that's perfect. I say that about other people's work. It's like that's perfect, but they'll go, well, you know, this spot could be, you know, a little more.
It's like, I think it's the secondary criticism which is really underestimated from a tattoo artist. It's like, because when he focuses, like when Bob works on a piece and it's like 8 hours, right, and it's this big, and they work and they work and they work, your brain is like in tune with the tattoo, right?
Yeah.
And then when you look at it, it's perfect. Then in the next day or 2 days later, you look at it on a picture and it's like, oh, you know, because you didn't see that, but nobody else sees it. It's only your own structure and your own rules what you apply to how you apply the design, because you don't know. And I think that's really what that's why we all work till we're 90 years old and we don't quit, you know, and we keep going. We look for that perfect tattoo. And everybody says, what's your favorite tattoo? You're the last one, because it was the best one I did. But it's like, so you try to go.
I was just gonna ask that, like, do you keep, you know, stock of your of the tattoos that you've done that you feel like you're more proud of than others, or?
Yeah, there's always some that stand out. Mr. T is one of my favorites, I think, you know.
See, to me, that's a perfect tattoo. Looking at it, right?
Yeah, it is.
I can find something. Looks a little dark in the
knock
screen.
it off.
Yeah.
But that's a lesson to anybody else that's watching right now, right? Like, if this was something that you were aspiring to doing, or maybe you're just getting started, hearing some of the greats out there right now even tell you that they pick it themselves. I mean, that's such a humanizing characteristic and so encouraging, I think, to move forward with your craft.
That's what makes us, I think, better, you know, because we're always striving to get better and do the perfect tattoo.
It's a constant growth, right? I mean, if you watch the tattoo industry, I think it's in the past 30 years, there was never a momentum of not growing. If you look at it, anywhere in the world, and it doesn't matter if you go to China, Japan, if you go to Australia, or if you go to Austria.
I'm sorry,
no kangaroos.
Austria. I may have confused the two earlier.
Or the United States, right? I think they never stopped learning. They're getting better and better and better, and I think it's because of that implemented self-criticism of all the artists, because they have nobody who teaches them really, right?
Right.
And then you need to stay. When you think you stopped learning, you're back where you started. It's just that simple.
Totally.
And that goes for everybody who's tattooing.
I think that goes with anything that you're doing in life, but yeah, specifically this, in order to see the growth and all of the transformation. And then, like, for both of you guys, you have people that are coming to you all the time and saying, that was perfect, that's amazing, da da da. At the position that you're in now, with all of the respect that you guys have both gained in the time and all the hard work that you put in, how does it feel when the newbies start looking at you guys and start saying they want to be just like you? What do you say to somebody that says, hi, I want to be just like you?
Drink a bottle of Jack first and then we talk.
Maybe I want to be more like Bob. I want to be like Bob.
So, I don't know, you know, I mean, for me, it's flattering, but it's also a little bit like, you know, I mean, I don't think that we see each other like that, right? Or yourself like that.
Right, right, of course.
I don't know,
I don't think I'm that great, man, you know. I got a lot of learning to go still, man, you know. And look at perfect example of somebody who, you're always progressing. Freddy Negrete, man. He's 60 or 61 years old and been tattooing 45 years, I'm sure.
His stuff in the last 5 years is
it's the best stuff he's ever done.
It's unbelievable. You know, it's like he has it down to see the pieces he's doing lately. It's like he just gets into the tuning zone right now, you know, and I think that's really, I I don't know. You know, it's like when a lot of people tell me, it's like, oh, you were so influential, you did so much stuff. I'm like, I forget, you know, and I have it's interesting. I have there's a book coming out about me, and it's very interesting because when I read some stuff on it, and I was like, holy crap, I did all that. I'm like, because I don't know. For me, it's just a daily life, right? This is what we do. It's like we get up, we talk to people, they want to get tattooed, we jump in, we do it, we have some fun, and we go home. So it's like we're not really working. We're not like really have a job where we are miserable all day. You know, it's just like it's a life. It's just what we do. I think so. It's difficult.
Yeah, but when you put it together in a book,
I
can do that book. It's like you look at everything. It's like, wow, I traveled a lot, man. You know,
well, and you've seen the world. It's like
tattoos.
Holy crap. It's we have been everywhere.
Yeah.
It's
and your tattoos and everything. You put it all in one place. It's like, man, I really.
So who do you think was your biggest influence?
Paul Booth.
That's great.
Still my favorite tattooer.
Yeah.
Wait, that's the guy that has the tattoo shop in New York, right?
Yes.
I just found out about that today. That's really awesome.
You didn't know Paul Booth beforehand?
I didn't. I'm sorry, but now I do, and I will never forget.
He's the king, man.
He's
Black
the
and
man.
gray,
Yeah.
evil black and gray. And you're one of my influences, man.
Oh,
I mean, Mario did my whole right sleeve, you know, in
he did?
1996. That was before I even started tattooing.
Yeah, he didn't
So-
tattoo yet at that time. He was a client.
But so, okay, we've been asking this question a lot to you guys. We already talked to you about yours, but you, all right, so you're little, you're drawing. What was your first tattoo? And what made you want to get it?
Oh, the one I got on me? My first,
Your first one. I mean, there's so many, but your first one.
Well, you know, I was pretty ignorant of, you know, the tattooers in Detroit, you know, because when I finally got my first tattoo, I was almost 30, and Eternal Tattoos were there, but they were on the west side. I lived in the east side of Detroit, and I just didn't know any artists there or anything, and I just figured out, you know, they work in a shop there. They should be good, right? So I went to the worst shop in town, which is right by my house, and I'm looking through the books, you know, and since I was 19, all through my 20s, I'd go into shops every couple of years and look around, and I figured I'd have to pick something off the wall. You know, I didn't see anything I liked. You know, I didn't realize that people did custom work, you know. And so when I went into this shop, I'm looking through the books, and I saw this drawing of Eddie from Iron Maiden. He's like the demon mascot for the band Iron Maiden. And it's this, which Paul Booth did my left sleeve, but from the elbow up, somebody else had done. The first tattoo is Eddie right here, and Paul had kind of redid it and redid my whole upper arm, so it matched the rest of my sleeve, kind of. But it was horrible. It's scabbed up, so I mean, big, thick cookie scabs.
So what do you recommend for anybody to find the right tattoo shop?
Yeah.
Or the right tattooer? What do you think? What's the...
You know, I mean, well, now you have the internet, you know, so you have, you know, you could just type in, go to tattoos.com, you know, and go to, I mean, you can just go online. And tattoo magazines, that was the thing when I started, you know, I recommend just looking through magazines. Now you can just type in, you know, just a certain style of work you're looking for. You type in Japanese tattoos, portrait tattoos, you know, color portrait tattoos, black and gray portrait tattoos, and you'll see just, you know.
So you recommend that everybody should travel to a place when they find a tattoo artist online, go there and get that appointment for sure, right?
Yeah, find an artist you're into, and it's worth it. That's what I did. You know, before I was tattooing, I went to New Jersey to get tattooed by Paul, and then New York.
What was that, Steve?
I don't know.
Stewie, what's going on? What are we having here? Stewie is back. If you don't remember who it is, just come back. Check out the replay later.
AKA Steve Butcher. I'm sorry I gave it away.
Oh, jeez.
But no, like, yeah, really do your research. Don't just walk in any shop. And if you do that, look in the portfolios and make sure you like that person's work, you know.
And like the person, right? Because
ultimately,
ultimately, you can't get tattooed by the best tattoo artist in the world. If he's a jerk off and you don't click, you're gonna hate it.
It'll remind you every
Yeah.
time you look at the tattoo, be like, oh, that guy was a dick, man.
Yeah.
You know?
It's the truth.
You don't need to have bad memories every time you look at your tattoo.
Do we have the
experience.
tattoo from yesterday from Bob, what he did by Body Art Unleashed on live?
We're having some technical difficulties pulling up the image that he did yesterday, but Bob was one of the guys that was doing live tattooing yesterday, so he was able to show everybody his process in action, I guess, if you will.
Yeah.
But for those people that miss it for any reason. What did you end up tattooing yesterday?
It was, I had done a portrait of Jimmy Hoffa, like in January, I think, but he wanted to add this kid's a Teamster. So he wanted to add do
does
the
that
Teamsters logo. It's like the union, Teamsters Union.
Oh, okay.
You know, and Jimmy Hoffa, started that like with the automobile industry in Detroit, way back in the day. Didn't he start the whole Teamster, the union?
I don't know. I'm not from here.
Jimmy Hoffa, I think he was the president of all that. I should know.
Somebody
the story
maybe
more.
can give us an update. Most likely we're going to get 100,000 comments now. It's like who he was and who he wasn't.
How do you not know who Jimmy Hoffa is?
Pretty sure Jimmy, he actually created the union in Detroit for the automobile industry.
Right.
And then that spread, all around the country and stuff. The Teamsters Union, but we need to talk about all that stuff. But he's an iconic Detroit dude. But this kid's, from Manhattan here.
Yeah.
But he's a Teamster, so I did a big portrait of Jimmy Hoffa. And so then we did the Teamsters logo he wanted, which is 2 horse heads and a wheel. But it's just a black and white image, solid black. So he wanted to do it different and like maybe more realistic, like my style.
Yeah, I've seen it. It was really, really nice, realistic horses, like horse heads. And I'm pretty sure we're going to show it later. We blend it in.
Yeah, absolutely.
That we're all going to do this. And in the meantime, I think we have somebody from Germany on the line. Randy Engelhardt is coming in, and we're going to talk to our friend.
Right now?
Well, we just,
Yeah, but you want to stay in? You
I
want
wanna
to
talk to that guy.
You want to talk? You don't?
I do want to talk to him.
Okay,
then
that's
you should-
good if you want to talk to him.
Well, you should hang
See your
out.
time because
'Cause good
Bob
news-
has to go to the airport, but so he's only doing this like right now for
Wait,
us and for you.
wait,
Ah,
look, we
there
found
we got
it.
some more.
I'm pointing over
They
there. You
did
guys just look
make
at your
it.
screen. Look at that.
It's really small. It's on his ankle. So.
Yeah, we can see. So that's not more than 3 inches or something, right? 3-4 inches,
Yeah.
the horse head maybe, right?
Does size matter then?
4 inches.
I mean, I
Wha-
set
wha-
myself
wha-
up. I
what's
set
going on
myself
over there? What's going on over there?
I set myself up for that one. I didn't mean to.
Please
I
stay on
mean,
the professional side on the table.
I am extremely professional, thank
Yeah,
you.
okay.
Does size matter when it comes to making it easier or more difficult for yourself in creating such a realistic image? Stop it, Mario. No, but really, I mean, you say this is a smaller image, right? But does it matter?
Well, it's harder, really, for me to do something that small and try to do a realistic face or a horse head like that. I try to cram as much detail as I can in there, but if it's bigger, it's a lot easier, So I did what I could with it that size.
Everything looks like easy when you see it on a picture and you blow it
Of
up on the
course.
screen, But if you put this in the actual size and you go like that, this piece is like this big, you really see where the complications come in, because you are forced to a certain group of needles. You're forced to like certain sizes of needles, right? You can't go smaller than small. It doesn't work,
Yeah.
It's whatever you got, and then there you see it in the whole
Oh, there
setup.
it
I mean,
is.
the portrait is incredible, and how he added it on the bottom, to make it blend seamlessly with the main,
It's hard to get a good picture. It's an iPhone pictures.
Yeah.
But,
Is it difficult to get all of those? So the details, like the lines on this guy's face, right? Like the wrinkles and stuff that make him look so, it makes it pop. How difficult is it for you to get in there like that? Even though you're talking about the needle sizes, those are really small. Like that's really fine.
Well, with the face that size, it's not that hard for me. But I've seen, speaking of Freddy Negrete again, I work with them sometimes in LA, and he can do small portraits, that I can't do. I physically can't do them like him. And but if it's something that big, it's a lot easier for me. The bigger the better with portraits. The bigger you go, the more detail you can put into it.
Yeah, that's a general thing for everybody who is considering a portrait. Just try to get it as big as possible. There's no way around it. I tell you, it's like he did an incredible portrait of me on my chest for my son, and you have to go in the size. That's just where it matters, right? Like, there's no other way around it if you want to do it right. And it doesn't matter. You're tattooed anyway, so what the hell? If it's 5 inches or 7 inches, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's like it's no difference.
Totally.
All right, let's cut to a commercial really quick. I'm
Okay.
glad we had a chance to see that, and we're gonna get Randy on.
Awesome. Thanks, Bob.
Oh, thank you guys.
We love
man.
Bob. He's so fun. All right, cool. We'll be back with more from Body Art Unleashed.